And now for our introduction, Brian. Just kidding. Like we put this spot here.
Welcome again to Surrender Lab. Tonight, Thursday night, COZSNUG night.
COZSNUG.
You want to explain COZSNUG?
You know what? We have my phone right there. We can read the thing again, that all the things that COZSNUG is.
Here, let's just talk about COZSNUG.
Let's do it.
Yeah, just say it.
We're really kind of just coming together to have a good, open conversation and really allow ourselves to be vulnerable and authentic with each other and everyone around us. And it's really just really us hanging with people we love and asking each other some deep questions.
So COZSNUG, the definition is for us to make oneself cozy, but not just by yourself, cozy toward others. So COZSNUG is to make oneself cozy toward others. And we didn't have a word like this in our language here in English. And we saw in Germany they got the word Gemütlichkeit, and in Denmark they got the Hygge, and they like get the concept, and it seems like they're more mature, and so we're like, why don't we have a universal word like this? And so now we have a word that is universally easy to say for people of all dialects for the most part, and it has a really easy understanding. You put cozy and snug together, and you're not just cozy by yourself, but now you're able to be snug with others. So we're really focusing on the concept of relatability, because we feel like we have been skipping relatability for so long, most of us. And we just want to do something about it that makes us smile, that we like, because we enjoy this kind of living. And we now believe that everybody deserves to enjoy living. And that's why we're doing this very thing tonight. It took me over 50 years to figure out that I believe that I deserve to enjoy living, and I believe that we all deserve it now.
Now that you believe it, now the rest of us can believe it.
Someone has to inspire.
There's a lot of us who've been believing this for a long time. It's a whole bunch of us coming together saying, hey, what would actually present more collective joy for all of us? What helps us gain more collective trust? And so that's exactly why we're doing what we're doing tonight. The how is we help by empowering empathy. So tonight we're going to empower our own empathy by asking each other questions and actively listening to each other and just being there to try to help each other get to a place of more vitality, abundance, and clarity, because we just believe that we all deserve it.
Beautiful.
Anybody else have anything else to say about that before we
there's really so much collective, just general distrust of each other right now. In a lot of cases, people don't have deep conversations with their friends and family, and will save it for a therapist or something like that. And we really want to promote, being comfortable everywhere, especially with, the people closest to you. And we believe that we can have these tough conversations openly and without judgment, because that's what we all want. We don't want all of these side avenues to try to fix try to band-aid any of our problems. We want to really fix the roots.
Yeah, and then the conversations become, they're not even tough anymore. They're just actually what you realize that you're wanting to do it.
Yeah.
I want to reprogram myself. I realize how much I've been self-sabotaging. I don't like these ways that I interact. I don't like the ways that I react. I don't like how I keep on listening to react instead of listening to learn. And eventually we just say, all right, I want to actually try to transform myself a little bit. So we're here saying this has helped us so much. It helps everybody that we know so much. It just seems like it fits every single one of us so perfectly. Why would we not be doing this all the time?
Right. And I think a lot of our own disempowerment, like the way we communicate and talk with others, we've learned through behaviors of others, and especially family members, and not healthy relationships growing up. The way other people react has diminished our own empowerment just to behave how we want to behave, because we're worried about what others think or how others have reacted in the past, and that's what keeps a lot of us disempowered as well, as worrying about other people's thoughts and reactions. And
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's definitely a huge part of my disempowerment. So I'm learning that.
Is thinking about what other people are
What
going to think
yeah.
or say. Or,
In the past, how people have reacted in the past, because I've wanted to do what I want to do, and it's limiting rather than just saying, hey, this is what I need to do for me, as long as I'm not hurting, right? As long as we're not hurting other people and we're keeping empathy and healing for everyone around us in mind, we should be enjoying life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Awesome.
You guys, let's read. We said we were going to read this again because we're still so new in pushing this out. We've already launched this to the world, but we're. This is the baseline. This is the baseline for every single thing we do here at Surrender Lab. And actually, we have now got it better summarized. Is that how all these things that we're doing all tie together? Surrender Lab is the very beginning, and it's a .com. SurrenderLab.com. It helps us to learn the skill of becoming present. Once we have that, now we're actually relatable. But we're learning the skills of relatability all the way along. And so inseparably connected to SurrenderLab.com, we have Empowering Empathy, our social impact organization, spreading empathy across the globe. Our domain for that is empathy.lol, because we now know that in the middle of all of it, right here in the now, we can learn to laugh at ourselves. And now that we can learn to laugh at ourselves, we can make and do anything we want to. And so the back end of it is that we get to launch ourselves and spread forth any amount of artistic expression that we want to, pertaining to this powerful movement of empowering all of our empathy through badass.art. So now we have this domain of .art that is showing us that we are all a bit able, if we want to consider ourselves an artistic expression at any given moment. Aren't I the living, breathing art that I'm pushing forth so far? Isn't all my word spewed forth? Isn't it articulation? Isn't it art? Isn't this me just saying, hey, here's my best foot forward so far, you guys, this is what I am? Well, this is what we believe we can all be doing, is saying, hey, here's what I really am, here's what I really feel the most, here's the authentic me. Now what do I want my story to look like? And we all want our story to look like that we actually increase our collaboration because of the fact that we know that it increases our level of enjoyment. And so we know now that enjoyment goes in direct proportion to how much we're willing to be relatable. So COZSNUG Night, this is us just coming together and saying, hey, do we believe in this cause of making ourselves cozy toward others so that we can practice the skill of, hey, aren't we all in this together anyway? Aren't we all really having an impact on each other anyway? We like to be more aware of it when we realize that we're the ones choosing instead of just acting like life's happening to us. And so, what now? So we get into our questions that we, from last week, we had questions to empower our empathy. What were you guys' thoughts on last week of the...
I really thought that we had some good questions. I thought we spread out some good conversation, good offshoots. So I thought it was really successful, and I was excited to continue.
I skipped. Should we actually read the declaration?
Oh, yeah.
You have a shortened version of it. Yes, I say we read that. The regular version with all of us reading it was kind of lengthy to do again.
Okay.
I feel like each.
We shouldn't do that every time. I think.
How about we just do it in Spanish? Or Portuguese, or Russian, or Chinese?
And that would take even
I
longer.
think we should definitely try to read that.
I have the shorter one right here. I'm looking for it. It's right below these translations, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, here's the. Oh, actually, yeah. Let's read this because I haven't. Read
I know,
this for
reading
like
to
a whole
people.
couple weeks now.
Yeah.
Can get boring
Okay.
unless we've got fancy stuff back here.
Okay, this is our smiling. This is our smiling version of the Universal Declaration of Inclusivity. Hey, we're here to talk about inclusivity, which is basically a fancy word for not being a jerk to other people. We believe in speaking our truth, but not at the expense of others. Slavery, rape, torture, and all the stuff that we call bad are definitely not cool, and we want to make sure everyone knows it. But inclusivity is more than just not being a terrible person. It's about being mature, dignified, loving, and all that good stuff. It's like being a superhero, but instead of fighting the bad guys, you're fighting against exclusive thinking. Exclusive thinking. So let's break free from our unlimited worldview and embrace the diversity of the world around us. Instead of thinking that we're the smartest person in the room, let's be the students and learn from each other. Even if we don't agree with someone else's perspective, we can still find beauty in their walk of life. And let's not forget about the power of art, music, and content to inspire inclusivity. So to all the creatives and curators out there, keep doing what you're doing. And to everyone else, let's challenge our self-limiting beliefs and practice seeing every moment as a learning opportunity. We're calling on everyone, from religious leaders to law enforcement agencies, to make inclusivity a top priority. And let's not forget about the power of money. Currency influencers and banking institutions, we're looking at you. We need your help to make inclusivity education available to everyone. So are you with us? Let's be superheroes and fight against exclusive thinking. Let's build a more inclusive and compassionate world for all.
Beautiful.
Yeah, does anyone want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I liked that shortened version. I think we should like, I think on COZSNUG night we should read the declaration before COZSNUG night, because then we can make sure we still have it in our live streams. But then we aren't doing it every time right at the beginning.
Okay, yeah, totally. I like that.
I like that.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, well, you want to move on to our
I'm
questions?
going to pull up the questions, yeah. In some way. Yeah, pretty much. Questions, here we go. Okay, I think we left off on like around 7 or...
We should bring those up so we're not
Yeah, that's true.
doing that.
Yeah, okay. Number 7. Randy, you want to start us off here? So these are just the questions that help us to empower our empathy.
And this is a continuation from last week. So our next question that we didn't, well, the next one from last week is, what is the most valuable lessons you have learned in your life, lesson or lessons, and how has it shaped you?
I think the most valuable lesson I ever learned in my life was to stop lying, to tell the truth. I used to be quite the liar. I used to just make tiny lies all the time. But what I learned as I went through life was that lies always fall apart. No matter how much you try, no matter how many lies you tell, no matter how many times you keep trying to lie, eventually something snaps. But when you're just being honest and authentic, you're never building any webs that have the chance of snapping. So you really are just always building such a solid foundation. And you don't have to worry about those kind of things. So that's not really a specific moment in my life, but when I really started being honest all the time and always telling the truth, I think that was one of the best things I ever did for myself. One of the best lessons I ever learned.
Beautiful, really. You already did one?
Yeah, mine, probably from my earliest age, I think I was maybe 18, when I realized, and I think it was through an impact seminar, but the hugest thing I got out of that, and I still, I live by it a lot, is when, you can line up 20 people and give them a scenario. And what we think, when you walk in a room, what we think is absolutely not what anyone else is thinking. A lot of us walk in and, they're thinking this, and they're thinking this, and they're thinking this. And there's 1,000 times more scenarios, and usually we are completely off. You could line up 20 people and say, what what is your idea, even give them a situation that you're in, and what is your scenario, or what do you think about that? And it's all going to be so completely different. So what I've learned is what I think people are thinking at any given time or perceiving me is never, ever, ever accurate unless you actually say, hey, tell me what you think. And so communication, I've learned just us thinking we know how people view us or look at us or what they're thinking is so far off. And I've learned that the only way to know that is to ask what people are thinking. And that helped me at that age to not be shy or embarrassed over any situation or anything, because it's all in our head when we are embarrassed, when we're holding ourselves back, when we think, oh, they're thinking that I look like this. No, it's all, that's just us. So.
Yeah. Right.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I would say there's just so many, but a huge, massive one is just the idea that I've learned that life is one big mirror, and every single time I'm smiling at it, it's literally instantaneously always smiling back at me. Life is a mirror, and when I'm smiling at it, it's smiling back at me. And that's what I keep on telling myself. I have been for a while now, and it's just true, constantly true. The more I smile, when I walk into the grocery store, the more everyone is like mirroring it back. I'm like, what? Everybody's all of a sudden happy at the grocery store. What's going on? It's me. It's always me. It's a big mirror.
It's also what you choose to look at also, right? Like you buy a red car and you see everyone has red cars.
Right.
If you're choosing, I'm happy, that's what I choose to see. You'll see everyone that's happy, everyone that's not kind of gets lost in the shadows, and you bring forth your energy radiates that exact thing that you're looking for. It is, yes, that mirror.
We could go on and on about this one forever,
Yeah.
like really, because this is how we talk, our normal conversations. That's what we're talking about constantly, because we value transformation so much that that's what we're always talking about is, hey, look at this new little skill I learned, look at this new little trick, look at this thing it's what we're wanting to talk about with each other, because it's the last little successes that we, it's like, we love patting each other on the back for our cool things that we're doing, right?
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one?
Yeah, a big printed something would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Okay. What are some of your hopes and dreams for the future, and what steps are you taking to achieve them?
Oh, I know I can certainly speak for pretty much all of us that, we're all of our hopes and dreams are around growing this community and this network of ideas of thought, of the idea that we believe everyone deserves to enjoy living, and not everyone believes that. And my hopes and goals certainly are to be able to spread that kind of energy and word so that more and more people believe that every day. And I think it's just a natural butterfly effect that the more people that are enjoying their lives, the more it spreads and the more enjoyment we have together.
Hell yes. Love it, brother. Love you being on this bandwagon with you. What do you think? You want me to go? You want to go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tough one for me to put into. I want to be doing, rather than working a job to fiscally sustain our life, like rent, car payment, all that stuff. I want to be doing what I want to be doing, like enjoying what I'm doing. to the fullest and not worrying about it as a source of income. Or,
Yeah.
Right.
You want your source of income to be something that's bringing you joy.
Right. Yeah. I wanna be at that point.
Beautiful. I think a lot of people could resonate with that right now.
Right. We work to live. Right? Is it the other way around?
No, we should live. Oh, yeah, it is the other way around. We
Yeah.
should work to live. We shouldn't live to work.
Right. And yeah, the same with my health. I don't want to feel like I have to rely on insurance because I can't afford to take care of my health having diabetes without insurance. It's ridiculously expensive and is continuing in that direction. And even if I was working full time, that's where every last bit of my income would probably go if I didn't have insurance. And I don't want to be living under those umbrellas anymore.
So what are you doing about it?
So yes, I'm becoming healthier. Trying to get rid of all these issues that I'm requiring insurance for.
So beautiful. It's fun. It is very enjoyable to be supporting you while you're doing
Thank you.
it. It's nice. It's very enjoyable to see you being so brave.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody else is saying, no, you can't do that. The second you go, oh, you got diagnosed, so, oh, you got a label. And you're willing to challenge that label now, and it's inspiring.
Right. And one of my biggest fears, which we talked about last week, yeah, it's hard for me to say that out loud because I fear the failure in that. When I say I am healing my diabetes, and what if I fail? What do I come back and say? Well, I couldn't do it, which is ridiculous. I just keep trying. That's all. Who cares if I don't do it this time?
Yeah.
I keep trying.
Nothing wrong with stumbling.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just you're doing what we all just keep on doing it. In my experience, is at the level that we want to, and we like to go to slow motion in a lot of things. I like to feel like we deserve it and earn it. What do I? Anything else?
What about you?
What do I?
Hopes and dreams.
My hopes and dreams, and what I'm doing about it. Well, those who are around me the most could answer this for me because it's all I've been doing for a while now.
And where are those people?
I envision a time when we're beyond our violence. We're beyond the idea that everything's good and bad, right and wrong. We're above our moral superiority. I have many, many, many friends now who don't walk around morally superior to me or those around us. And it's refreshing to be around somebody who is safe. And I envision a day when everyone feels safe. We can't have people getting stolen. We can't have sex trafficking. That's all bullshit. We need to eradicate the world of that stuff. We've discovered the cure for loneliness. We now have cured loneliness. We're going to give it to everyone. And we're doing that. That's exactly what we are doing. We're doing that in every single part of our day. It's how we wake up in the morning. It's how we go to bed at night. This is what we eat, sleep, and drink. It's how can we empower our own empathy. And I have morphed my personal vision into a, hey, I don't want to do anything on my own anymore. I really want to only do this if I feel like we all really want whatever we want. And I envision a time when we don't have any single part of the planet very soon that doesn't have clean drinking water. That's just absolutely ridiculous. That we have poverty, we have so much abundance, and we have any single nook and cranny of the world who doesn't have access to abundance. it's ridiculous. I've been in the way. And I apologize that I've been in the way. And now I want to do something about it. And this is the purest thing we can think of to spend our time doing, that we enjoy so much, that we feel like is the very tippy top of what humanity could use to hear and do right now. Because we actually now have a focus on human dignity instead of not even knowing what that meant. We now know what inclusivity is because it's really obvious when it's juxtaposed up against an exclusive thinking mind that thinks everything's going to eventually come around to its special way of seeing things. I envision a day where we're all not walking around saying, hey, my beliefs are important too, my beliefs are important too. It's just so valuable to see everyone as your teacher and everyone as instructive and just devour the thing before me as an external part of me that's actually on the inside. And I envision a day when we're all aware enough and smart enough and thoughtful enough and have cared to develop this characteristic of inclusivity enough that we're all enjoying things more than feeling like it's an obligation that we struggle or suffer. Those are options, and there's nothing wrong with them, but they're a choice, ultimately, when we begin listening to learn. So that's what I envision, and that's what we're doing, what I feel like we're doing about it.
So thank you.
What is something you've been curious about lately, and what have you learned from exploring it? I could go. If you guys still want to think for a second.
Yeah.
I've been on my path to healing diabetes and my body. I have been exploring more about natural herbs, and just realized I was so stupid, like I knew nothing. And I love natural plant medicine. Like I would rather use a natural remedy than a pill over anything. But
Tell what you've been finding. Like if you want to clean yourself out real quick. Rhubarb bark, a tea. If you want to, you want to de-stress real quick.
So many herbs that take care of everything, like lung, nasal congestion. Herbs are doing that. You need, rather than take a laxative. Well, I first thought magnesium was like the main thing. Well, yeah, you can buy that on the shelf everywhere. Magnesium is a supplement. But then there's also rhubarb bark that seems more natural rather than taking a laxative where you're stuck home sitting by the toilet for a full day afterwards or a full night. Like it's rhubarb bark you drink in tea, and it was like the next morning it's like, there you go, let's dump everything all at once. And then you move on with the rest of the day. And it was like so like it just ate a bunch of fiber that worked its way through your system. But yeah, cool. And I mean just all these herbs that are just teas that if I couldn't find at the Asian market, ordered online.
And we love, down in Salt Lake, the Natural Law Apothecary. Amazing how helpful they are. And everything they told us was like spot on with the way that they helped us with the teas that we got from them. Excuse me. So big shout out to the Natural Law Apothecary in Salt Lake. Love those guys.
And what I've learned too is just going online and doing my own research. Because everyone was only limited in what they know because they know what they know because that's what they wanted to learn. But what I want to learn, what we all want to learn, is a little more fine-tuned. And so, we have all that information online to specifically find what we are wanting for ourselves. Because everyone gives us advice on what to eat, what to drink, and what's worked for them. But I feel like we all...
What advice would you give to somebody who says, it just seems too big to, it just seems like, I don't even know where to start.
And for what?
If they wanted to take and rid their life of any kind of an addiction or a substance, and they wanted to lean into plant medicine, they wanted to lean into, where would you say is a place, from your perspective, where would people want to start? How would they say, hey, I want to get rid of these medications? You've gotten rid of how many medications now? The list that have seen is
right.
You've gotten rid of all this stuff out of your life.
When I feel like the very beginning of any of that is, our belief system. Like, do we really want to heal, or do we just want to find another substitute to get off this other one? Because we do that a lot.
Really good point. Yeah.
But do you really want to? And it's our state of mind, I think, and with a lot of it, and diet, what we're eating, what we're choosing to put in our bodies, and healthy. And I don't mean never ever eat this or this or this or this, but I feel like, yes, let's try to stay on a healthy diet, but have a dessert. Enjoy something that you love, even if it's not the most healthy thing in the world. I don't feel like depriving and sticking to this strict thing is healthy mentally either.
Yeah, repression is pretty much never the answer.
That's not abundance. That's just feeling like, hey, it's available. If I want it, if I feel like that's what I need. Like if it's your birthday and you really want a cupcake or a cake, okay. Yeah. But do you want to be doing that every morning for the rest of your life?
Right.
That's not healthy. Same with convenience foods. Yeah, it's convenient. Do you need that to push your every single meal?
Right.
Yeah. Or do you want to put more intentionality into what you're putting in, right?
It's what you are.
It's
what we are,
what
right?
You are also, and what you put out.
Yeah.
Because when you're putting in a lot of unhealthy stuff, you're also putting that back out to the world. I feel like either the way you feel, your energy.
Right, exactly. So then we're not able to then be a giver, and we're not, because we don't even feel like we have.
So we're not taking care of ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's fine tuning. We all are growing in different areas. What may have worked 10 years ago for us, we're constantly changing. It may not work now. So it's just constantly fine tuning and communicating with other people. What are you doing? What are you doing? And trying it. If it doesn't work, then it's all, I guess, looking for the new in everything. Or if something old continues to work, great.
Yeah.
But add.
Right.
I don't know if that answered that very well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It feels beautiful. Yeah, I love watching. We've been doing a bunch of this with Chinese plant medicine. Did you have something right now?
Yeah.
Okay,
I would say, some of the stuff I've been most interested in lately is kind of like our Edges class, really. It's all just about, I've really been leaning into going into different, micro pains or, bigger pains or, things that I'm carrying around as diseases or, all these different things. I've been really leaning into how much I can really change about my own world and my beliefs and my actions, because I've been learning so much about illness within myself and about how we really can manifest sicknesses just because of social problems or because of some, disagreement with a partner. And, I've just learned so much about how easy it can be to really heal ourselves and never even get sick in the first place. And I've been learning all about all these other things, you have a pain in your arm or your back, what are these things caused by? How much is our body holding, a trauma from when you were 6 years old, when you hurt yourself and you don't even remember? It's all just about awareness and kind of focusing on all these things that are causing any amount of discomfort in our lives and getting to the root of what's causing them and why they're there.
Yeah, like proactively going at it instead of shying away from it.
Yeah.
That's the moment you're saying, I want to do something for myself right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah, so that's changing every day, but that's definitely like
It is one of the biggest changes for
What
us.
are you doing? What are you doing to learn more about that? Like, what's the proactive?
My proactive thing is really to change bigger and bigger things. You know, I want to be able to, heal. What's the word that guy used? It wasn't neurogenesis, but it was like when your body's just in equilibrium. What's the word? Do you remember the word?
Equanimity?
Homeostasis. Homeostasis.
Yeah.
To keep our bodies in homeostasis and be able to just keep ourselves healthier and healthier just by being in your natural state of being that feels the best for you, and just continuing to snowball and get more and more healthy and more radiant.
Yeah. Beautiful. You do every single day get more radiant, brother.
Thank you.
Okay, so what is the question? What have I been curious about?
I'm curious about.
This is like a trick question for me because everybody that knows me has known that I'm like
Curious about
curious. Like I've been the most curious thing ever.
Right, but your focus can't be on everything. What's it been on lately?
It was so many things. I've been leaning into all these things, like what you were just saying right now. I could talk about the things I've been curious about that and what I've been learning from that. I would say that one of them is the thing I was most curious about was what I wanted to get past the point where I felt like I didn't have the strength to do something. I don't know how to say this exactly in words, but when I hung myself on these rings, and I felt like I prepared myself over like the last several years for this exact moment, my curiosity was just totally in sync with my bravery and my will of just this. I'm just hanging there on these rings, and I wanted to stop hanging on in the first 10 minutes probably at least 3 times. And I thought, I can't keep hanging on. And then I just forced myself past that every single time and said, I can do anything I want, and I'm going to keep hanging on. And I just kept on melting. My body kept melting. My wings, they felt like were just kept on coming out. And how do I put it in words? What I was rewarded with, what hit me in the butt, the benefit that I got from being willing to lean in and be so brave. Nature favors courage. It favors us when we're brave. I've learned this. I'm leaning in. I'm being so brave. And all of a sudden, I'm hanging on, and it's been over an hour, and I'm realizing that nothing could pry my hands off. Nothing on this planet would have been able to, is what it felt like, be able to pry my hands off. They were so iron locked and so one with those rings that everything else didn't matter. I was already on the other side of my wimpy weakness, and I realized my limitless power in that moment. And my grip rewarded me. The feeling of my grip of like, it all of a sudden became effortless to be hanging on that strong, if that makes sense. It felt like I exerted no effort anymore whatsoever to do the thing I was doing. I was just being gifted it. If that makes those words come out.
Cool, yeah.
I don't know. That was one of the coolest things. I've done tons of things like this lately. We all know we've been being so curious about trying to figure out how to tap into our superhumanness. What's the next?
What are some of your favorite things things to do in your free time, and why do you enjoy them? I've learned I like puzzles.
Nice. Why do you like puzzles?
I don't know. I mean, I've been playing solitaire on my phone for a while at my free time. Like, oh, there's nothing else to do. I'm going to do that for a minute. And it's that challenge of trying to go faster and do better. And then I've moved on to some other just puzzles on my phone, because when I'm at work, sometimes I'm waiting, right? I have a waiting period. And really, I'm just at my phone. So these other puzzles, like I enjoy it, and I love that, because I notice my brain when I first start working on the puzzle. And the same with reading. When I read a new book and it's a new author, even when it's a different, like Old English style writing, like Emily Braun. I think I may have got her name wrong. But when I was reading like Old English, or even like Hamlet and Shakespeare, and you start reading it, and it's like, it's hard at first. It's hard at first, because you're like, I don't know if I'm understanding it. But as you continue to do it, you get better. Your mind changes, and I can feel that change in my brain, the way my focus on it is.
Yeah.
And that's what I do enjoy with puzzles, because I'm like, oh, now I could. Seemed hard a little bit ago, but now I'm looking through it.
Brain gets through it fast.
And yes, and
cool.
I enjoy that, because it reminds me daily that I can do that with everything. Like learn. The more we're doing something, the better we're getting at it. So everything that feels hard, it's just like a puzzle, and it's just the more intentionality we keep putting into it and working at it, the easier it gets.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Let's see. I was gonna say something like video games or something, because I really do enjoy that. Because I play a lot with my esports team, and I love communication and growing skills like that. But what I really want to talk about is what I've really been leaning into more on a daily practice of like really taking the time to work on my body. Between either going deep into stretches and becoming more flexible, or holding tension poses to become stronger, or balancing. I love standing on my head, for example. But really, I've been taking a lot of time to just all around even out and balance out my body. And it's just, I find so much enjoyment out of it, and I feel like one of the things I love most about it is that I see progress every day, I feel like I'm literally getting just a little bit stronger or a lot stronger, depending on the day, every single day. And that's what I love the most about it, is it's just about taking the moment to put some effort and energy into becoming a little more well-rounded and stronger, or whatever you want. Because it's all just about taking the time and the moment to actually go put the energy in, no matter how you want to do it.
Great.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. There's a million things you could have talked about.
Yeah, I can talk about. I love so many things. I'm interested in so many. Yeah, I love to do so many things.
What was this? What was the question?
What do you like to do in your free time?
Free time, yeah.
I like to do lots of things, but
Isn't it all free time, man?
it's all free time. Exactly.
Like,
So that's why I just picked some.
It's like all free time. Like,
pick one of your favorite activities you love to do.
I just absolutely loved. Just this last weekend, went down to southern Utah and hiked Leprechaun Canyon, a slot canyon, with my youngest son Cohen, who was born on St. Patrick's Day. It was our little leprechaun, and it was just magical. If you've ever hiked a slot canyon, it's just hard to put into words. It's like for this skier or snowboarder who talks about bombing the hill and fresh powder through the trees. It's like the rock climber that is just hanging on for. It's like that. I'm actually just trying to think of actually what I actually enjoyed the most. ourselves. It's in the present moment. It's like these things. It's like these things. I'm enjoying myself so thoroughly right now that we're launching this to the world. We've been working on this for so long, and we realize our clunky nature. We realize how to laugh at ourselves. We enjoy our days now. We are trying to make up for all the things in our lives that are any kind of, we're just trying to become beautiful and see ourselves beautiful and treat everything as beautiful. We all deserve to enjoy living now. And it's extremely enjoyable to live this way. Just to be with others that you have a sense of belonging, which I didn't have
So you enjoy your now.
for so long.
So that's it. The one
Yeah.
thing you enjoy the most is
Say enjoy the now. That's
Exactly.
beautiful.
Right? It's
So let's rephrase
so
that. You
thoroughly
enjoy
enjoyable.
the now.
It's
That's
Enjoy the
most
now.
thing.
My free time,
Yeah.
I'll have to schedule the now at my free time.
What's the next one? I'm really liking the fact that we do have the solfeggios in
Yeah, yeah. I like that.
this.
I will pick something like.
What's something that you feel really passionate about, and what motivates you to pursue it? Kind of a similar question.
Yeah, kind of a similar question.
Well, I'm not really passionate about puzzles, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I do want to know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Let's,
I'm
Randy.
passionate
I
about
want to. This is a conversation I'm
but
extremely interested in.
I'm trying to figure that out. Like, I am on a process of, yes, what am I most passionate about? Or right now it's my healing.
Yeah,
My healing mentally, physically.
and I would say your
Energetically.
your ability to love on others too. Like you're massively different than when I met you. All of a sudden, I feel like you love me, and you have
Things.
passion, which I've said that word to you at least how many times? It's just what I want so bad. It's there to be some passion of, I want to know that you actually want to be around me. And to have that kind of passion now, it's exhilarating. It's very beautiful.
Oh. Well, thank you. I
For us to
didn't know
have
that
passion
was.
for each other.
Okay, thank you.
You
And
do
yeah, well, yes, and that
Just
whole
haven't
process
told me that
of.
specifically, I guess, but we've talked plenty about.
Thank you. And yes, I was lost showing passion for anything because I didn't have passion in myself, in what I wanted for myself. I was just living to survive.
Right.
But basically, that's what I've done my whole life. I've just been surviving
Yeah.
and getting out of that realm. Like I have, yes, a little bit the last few years, but it's a whole, programming in my head. And sorry it took so long. And I'm still
It's been a beautiful journey the whole way.
reprogramming 49
So
years.
49 years.
49 years reprogramming. Yes.
Everybody just heard 49, by the way.
Yes, I understand. I think that's right.
6 or 7, I don't remember.
That's beautiful. Passion.
My question actually it's almost the same answer as to your last answer, which is I'm actually really passionate about the present moment and the infinite potentiality and love that emanates from there. And I love and I'm so passionate about pointing to that space in any way I can, in the most artistic way and beautiful way I can, because I think that's really where, pointing inward and inside ourselves, I think is we're all so cliche, but happiness really does come from within. And I just think that's so important to point at and remind people about, because it's so easy to forget.
Right. Or to embrace that.
Yeah.
Because that's what you are doing.
Yeah.
Pulling it in instead of.
Right.
Yeah, you're embracing it.
Mm-hmm. And I think even what's beyond happiness and unhappiness. You know, happiness, unhappiness, happiness, unhappiness. Like when you can see it all and observe it all, you realize there's this other level of awareness where you're like, oh, there's peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
And it
In
seems to be
between the
above
ups and
the
downs.
happiness and unhappiness. It's just, you can always choose to have peace of mind in the way you're operating because you can be choosing to live intentionally, live with, manifesting your intentionality before you, rather than just sitting there acting like life's happening to you and acting powerless. Yeah, we just deny ourselves what we really are, what we really have access to. Okay, the question is passion.
Yeah.
What am I passionate about?
Passion.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Okay,
you just
I could go on and on and on and on and on. Because I have a lot of passion in me. I want to talk about dancing.
Dancing. You are so passionate.
Because I have become passionate about, hey, what do you do once you learn how to channel a whole bunch of energy up in the middle of your body and to let it go with the music out your body and to flow with all in one with it is one of the most therapeutic things, one of the most enjoyable things, one of the most healing things. Like all the things, it solves every single one of life's so-called issues and problems just being lost in music and the body moving with it all in one big unit. And trying to really lean into that is just, I'm wildly passionate about it now.
Beautiful.
I can go on about a million things I'm passionate about, you guys know that, but that's one that I'll
Thank you.
say because I really want to do that more often.
Awesome, guys. Do we want to wrap that up there?
Is that the end of it? What time is
It's
it?
7:35.
Is it? Yeah, no, we have plenty of other ones, but we'll just
let's
basically,
keep 'em
yeah,
up.
we have
Yeah.
lots of other questions.
We got so many more
Um,
questions to keep up this kind of conversation because
Questions to empower? Yeah.
we're just empowering empathy with our questions, just opening dialogue. Just deep, beautiful, with some beautiful people.
Right.
Beautiful dialogue.
Do you want to tell them anything about what's coming? Or should we? Let's keep them surprised. Let's let them stay tuned.
Stay
You're gonna wanna
tuned.
Stay
You're
tuned
gonna wanna
because
stay tuned
there's some exciting
for
stuff
Surrender
happening
Lab.
right now within in the COZSNUG little world here at Empowering Empathy at Surrender Lab at badass.art. There's extremely neat things happening and extremely neat connections all over the world being made right now with really, really cool people who all have very similar desire to actually see this go and actually see us get to this place where we truly do actually see each other with dignity. And we love you guys.
We love you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.